The overlay?
I found it. Problem
Awesome.
fixed. So we're just going to do a little countdown. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, go. And then you hit the play button.
I think I can do that.
We're going to start this little match. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. And here we go, guys. Match number 1. We have Glorious Gaming here on the left. We have Supra on the Barbarian, Cthulhu Luck on Vala, Syracuse on Tassadar, Soma on Uther, and Rhaegar, we have ZPS. Dunk, would you like to introduce the other team?
I would love to. So, on the red side, we have Team Snowflake running Idra on the Tychus, LZ Gamer on Tyrael, Glaurung on that Kerrigan. We have Shaggy on Brightwing, one of his key heroes actually, you'll note, plays that a lot, and Keelex on the Falstad.
All right.
Great game.
So, there's obviously going to be a lot of Heroes veterans in here, but there's also going to be some newer players to Heroes of the Storm. Why don't you just do a little bit of overview of the map Dragonshire and what the objective for each team is here?
Oh, absolutely. So we're starting on Dragonshire here. It is one of the 3-lane maps, like most of the maps are currently 3 lanes. The map objective is actually the Dragon Knight located in the center. You can access the Dragon Knight's power by controlling both the Sun and Moon Shrine, located at the top and bottom of the map respectively at the same time. So a lot of the play in this map, we have an engage on bottom side, Keelex taking some damage. A lot of play on this map is trying to allow your team to hold one or both of the shrines in order to access the Dragon Knight or prevent the enemy team from getting the Dragon Knight. And then in addition to that, we have the traditional mercenaries in a 3 Siege Giant and 2 Knight Camp rotation on the bottom and top half of the map respectively.
Alright, thank you for that overview, guys. Now, again, this is a technical alpha. You know, balance may not be perfect. They're still working on this game. The game might be completely different in 6 months, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No team's really committing to any heavy damage quite yet. Shaggy, you know, until 10, Shaggy on Brightwing doesn't have the biggest escape. You know, he's got his movement speed that he can cast on himself, but he doesn't have that blink heal to get him out of position. So he has to be very careful on Brightwing not to get caught early, because Glorious does have a lot of stuns. They can lock Shaggy down and try and get that kill.
Yeah, we're actually seeing very, very conservative play out of both teams, it looks like right now, for the most part. Like the Tassadar Tyrael top lane, nobody's going to get a kill there. We've got some tangoing in the bot lane, but nobody's really committing to kills yet. It looks like Keelex taking some damage again. They're going to try and get out of this bottom lane engage.
Here comes Idra showing up.
Yeah.
Trying to put some damage on the Super. The stun does go down. They might be able to secure the kill, and they do. Nice kill going to Snowflake, getting them that little experience lead. Now, as you can see, both teams, you only see the level 4 and level 3. Can you go ahead and explain to the newer viewers, Dunk Train, what this global experience is, the team experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a new viewer to Heroes of the Storm, perhaps you've looked at other games in the genre, perhaps Dota League or something, you are going to be kind of confused because heroes don't have individual levels in this game. Your team levels together. Now what this means is that anytime any one person gets experience for your team, it goes to your whole team. Now, this has some really interesting effects on gameplay because you don't need to have necessarily your carry in a lane. Like, if he leaves the lane, that's fine, because he's still leveling up, because your team is still getting experience. So the dynamic about resource distribution is a little different.
Absolutely, and we do see that a Merc camp was taken by Team Snowflake. When you kill mercenary camps and you cap them, they fight for you and they push whatever lane they are designed to push. And as you can see here, they are doing work to the tower for Glorious Gaming here. It might actually fall here. Super's trying really hard to save it, but it looks like it will go down. Unfortunate loss for them.
The tower's going to go down, but it's not a huge deal because you really need the forts to go down to give you that huge burst of experience. But what it does do is it gives Team Snowflake a little bit more pressure on the map because Super had to pull back, and that's going to allow them to make a play for the Dragon Knight right now.
Glaurung getting really close.
Yeah, ZP is trying to foil this, and it looks like Team Glorious actually managed to capture one of the shrines, so they're going to be okay and not lose the Dragon Knight right here.
Yeah, that's what you can actually see right here in the bottom lane. We do see that they are trying to cap the shrine. Now, just, you know, alpha is alpha. What time are you at, just to make sure we're still synced?
I'm at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay,
I'm about a second and a half ahead of you, so that's still pretty good. Still pretty good.
All right. We're on track. We're on track.
And here we go. We do see that Snowflake is trying to make a play for this bottom shrine. They do get the grab on Supra. Poison does go down. Idra comes in with the side. The grenade goes down, and they do secure another kill. That's 2 kills for Team Snowflake.
Huge rotations into the bottom lane here by Idra. He's coming down on Tychus at the key moments every time. Good communication on that team in order to get Idra down there. When he's not missing experience in the middle wave, you'll see that very clearly. He clears the wave and then rotates down really aggressively. Excellent play by this team to get some pressure on the map, and that's going to give them an experience lead and pressure moving into this mid-game. They're probably going to hit 10 first, is what we're going to be looking to see. That's the big break point where the huge fights start to roll out. When teams get 10, they want to force objectives with those heroic abilities.
Now, just to explain a little bit more, at level 10, you do unlock your heroic abilities. That's your ultimate from other types of MOBA games. That's what gives you a lot more power. It's a new ability you can use, and more often than not, there's something that can be very game-changing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Change the entire way, the entire flow of the game. Oh, and something else that's interesting for players who are new to this game, perhaps coming from the games in the genre, each hero actually has 2 of those abilities, and they have to choose one every game. So your team can play radically different depending on which heroic abilities you actually choose in your lineup.
That's a good point. Now, we do see that there is an engagement going down here. Glauber does land the stun on the ZP. The poison does go down. Will they be able to secure the kill? He is so low. Will the healing ward and Soma's heals on Uther be enough? And it looks like it was. Grabs that healing well. Won't have to go back. Headed back to middle lane. Idra pushing middle lane as hard as possible. Look at the ammo on that tower. If they ever do secure that Dragon Knight, this wall's going to be no defense.
Oh, absolutely. Idra has done a fantastic job putting pressure on here in the mid lane. It looks like there's another engage happening.
Oh my gosh. Another death to Supra.
Yeah.
I think all 3 kills have been on him so far. I mean, until you get
right
that heroic leap, you know, you just...
Barbarian really only goes... She only goes in until she has leap. She can only go in with that Ancient Spear. She doesn't have an escape mechanism, so if you get caught out by hard CC, you're going to have a hard time getting back to your base.
Both shrines currently owned by Snowflake, and Idra's going for a play for the Dragon Knight with Glaurung, and Elsa Gamer here to assist. He is going to get it, and they're going to start pushing mid lane. Yeah,
that is a big Dragon Knight for them. Nothing got contested on the map by Team Glorious. They have no mercenaries pushing anywhere, so all of the pressure is on them right now. And Team Snowflake has the level 10 to level 9 advantage. This is the breakpoint I was talking about. They're going to look to abuse. They want to take this mid forward off of this. They want to rotate, get any other objectives they can, because they dramatically overpower Team Glorious at the moment.
Now, we just saw the Dragon Knight's first ability. It's the ability to punt someone far away. He also has the Fire Breath. Destroys creep women's, able to push her. Will we see a fight underneath these forts now? Different from other MOBAs, when you fight someone underneath their tower or fort, if you have your own minions underneath it, it doesn't matter who you're hitting, they will not aggro onto you until all minions underneath it are gone.
Absolutely. This is really fundamentally different here, because it means that the aggressive team underneath the fort can continue to fight without fear of the fort assisting the defending team as long as there are creeps alive. This makes wave clear even more important in this game, because you want to have wave clear in order to prevent the creeps from walking into your fort and ending up tanking while the enemy team fights you there. Dragon Knight goes down.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the Dragon Knight goes down, and surprisingly, Team Snowflake doesn't actually manage to get a fort here. They did about half health damage to the mid fort and a little bit of damage on the bottom, clearing out that front wall. But surprising here to see Team Glorious actually manage the defensive so well against that Dragon Knight.
Glorious is trying to get this camp over here. LZ and Glaurung are in position to engage if they need to. Shagging Idra and Keelax coming up from behind. Will they be able to secure it? LZ goes in. Here comes the ults from Idra and Keelax doing a lot of AoE damage. Glaurung might end up falling here, getting a bunch of Maelstrom damage there. Someone's going to fall as well. LZ Gamer damaging, taking a lot of damage from Syracuse. He will back out there, but it looks like so far it is a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Snowflake.
Yeah, Snowflake came out big there. Not only did Tyrael have the brilliant idea of going in as soon as that camp was about to get captured, so it threw Glorious off their game, but then his team followed up perfectly, and we saw a huge ultimate out of Keelax to get that false head laser across almost all 5 targets, and that set the fight in their favor after that huge lead, and we're going to see bottom fort dropping most likely after this engage.
And yep, and it looks like we are going to be taking that fort, getting a nice experience, a 2-level lead, as you guys can see, in favor of Snowflake. Now, if you could go ahead and press tab for me and look at the talents, can we go over what heroics that everyone has taken?
Yeah, are we pausing or continue?
Just continue, just continue.
Okay.
There's no big fights going on right now.
Sure. That team just took a night camp, though. Team Snowflake actually just captured the night camp. Really aggressive after that fight. Really good play by them. But so looking at the talents here, it looks like we've got pretty traditional ultimate ability choices. We have Team Glorious running the Bloodlust Rhaegar, which is a huge buff to your team's attack speed and movement speed for a duration. We've got Uther running the Divine Storm, really normal for him. It's an AoE stun centered around him. He's kind of a frontline brawler. You're going to see that come into big effect if he can get into the backline and land an AoE stun on them. Tastar running the Archon, which is pretty normal. Makes him a high DPS hero, it powers up his auto attacks and gives him a big shield. So really powerful bruiser he turns into instead of the normal traditional support hero. Barbarian running that leap, like we were talking about earlier, allows her to jump in, AoE stun. So this team is definitely looking for some big AoE engages, followed up by the Vala Strafe, which is going to do huge AoE damage. So we're definitely looking for Team Glorious to have an AoE engage where they can manage to get the enemy team clumped in their AoE stuns.
There is a pretty big push coming top lane. It's going to be really hard for Snowflake to engage onto this fort right now. There's still ammo on it. They don't have the Merc camp, so they are going to back off. Yeah. Top Shrine is currently controlled by Snowflake, but looks like Glorious is going to be tanking it. Bottom Shrine still, has not been contested. But that comes back to what you said at the beginning. Falstad having that global presence, flying down to the bottom lane, and going to go ahead and cap that Shrine.
Absolutely. You can see all the mercenary camps on the map are down right now, except the bottom-most ogre camp. So we're going to see Snowflake rotate down towards there, most likely, because that's the only place on the map that you can actually get good pressure going right now. So that's what we're going to see them do with their map mobility advantage. They're going to head down there and clear that out first and secure the Shrine, and then they're probably going to look to push with that camp, since there are no other objectives available at the moment.
Yeah, with Falstad's fly being down, they really can't try and go for the Dragon Knight right now unless they want to run all the way to the top of the map. Looks like they're just going to let the Mercs push the lane a little bit, though, while they try and get a better positioning, maybe try and set up a flank or take this middle fort.
Yeah, it's possible they just want to zerg this middle fort here while Team Glorious is defending that bottom Shrine. Now, this is going to leave them open to a potential counterattack with the Dragon Knight because Team Glorious is going to have both Shrines available, so if they can manage to secure a fight at the Dragon Knight, they will be able to capture it. But it looks like Team Snowflake is immediately backing off. They recognize this possibility, and they're going to go have Shaggy on right wing, capture that Shrine because he can come back. Oh, maybe not. They're looking to set up for this fight.
Very tense moment here. Now, keep in mind that Snowflake has level 16. They have a talent lead on Glory, so if there is a fight, there will be a small advantage. Not even a small advantage, a pretty big advantage, because level 16 talents tend to be pretty game-changing for Snowflake.
Yeah, it looks like Team Snowflake was trying to bait Team Glorious into the fight there, and when they realized that Team Glorious wouldn't commit, even though they had that Dragon Shrine to fight over, when they realized they wouldn't commit, they actually just sent Kelex up to the top shrine and just let him cap that so that they could back away and do their own mercenaries.
Okay, Idra and Shaggy pushing middle lane right now while the rest of them are taking those Siege Ogre champs. We do see that Glorious gets one as well, so they both teams have one. Not much is going to be done there unless one team decides to push while the others doesn't. And curious as to what Glorious is doing. They're sitting at the Knight camp, still got a minute on it. Maybe they're going to go try and sneak top Shrine. But with no map vision on most of the team, I mean, they see LZ and Idra, or I guess now, but before, they had no clue where they were. They didn't know, if they were going for the Dragon Knight or what.
Yeah, absolutely. When you don't have vision on all 5 of the enemies, there's nothing you can do except group up as 5 and then hope that where you go, you don't face check into them, honestly. So pretty standard play there from Glorious. They're on the back foot, they know that. They have to 5-man to a Shrine and not get the Dragon Knight taken, so they go to top Shrine together, and now they're going to be pulling back towards this bottom lane to try and defend against Team Snowflake, who is pushing aggressively now.
Yep, they do have one Siege Giant with them. Not going to be the most impactful player here, but
absolutely,
it does help just a little bit. And again, Glorious still only level 14. They haven't been able to get any experience. There hasn't been much lane soaking right now. As you said, they're moving S5. There hasn't been a team fight, so it's going to be really hard for them to get that 16. And Snowflake's okay with this. They're okay with playing patiently, because right now they have advantage. They're going to wait for Glorious to be out of position, and they're going to go for an engagement there.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Snowflake has all the control at this point because the 16 to 14 advantage and the globals. They could even be splitting off Falstad or Brightwing at any time they want before looking for fights, which is what it looks like they're trying to do down here at the Shrine.
Yeah,
they might have caught Supra.
Yep, Snowflake is going in right now. Here comes the leap from Barbarian. Syracuse going to Archon. Odin immediately popped, and there comes the ult from Falstad. So much AoE damage going down, but it looks like that Snowflake is coming out on top. They haven't lost anyone yet. Great heals coming from Shaggy, keeping all of his team alive. It looked like Glauron was going to fall there for a moment, but beautiful heals. Odin still half up. Nice pull from Glauron, going to secure that kill on Castar. LZ Gamer still going ham, not afraid of these towers at this point. He is so tanking. Barbarian's going to fall, and ZP seems to be the only one that is going to live. LZ Gamer will survive. Good heals from Shaggy. And these guys are going to take a huge experience lead. That was 4 for nothing, and they're going to try and take this inner keep.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be able to take the keep here with only ZPs defending. Now the question is whether they're going to pull back after this and go for the Dragon Knight, Mercenaries, or potentially even threaten another keep. Those are the questions I'm looking at right here. But it definitely a huge engagement. coming out for Team Snowflake. Huge victory there. Oh, and we actually see the double bribe synergy taking this night camp instantly with their globals. Fantastic work there by Team Snowflake to capture that night camp before Team Glorious can even regroup. So now Team Glorious doesn't have that night camp as an option to try and get themselves some pressure and get back in the game.
And now we do see that more camps are being taken by Snowflake. They're taking the top shrine, so they're going to have access to the Dragonite. We also see Keelax starting the other knights.
Yeah.
Just full map control in favor of Snowflakes. They're 2 levels away from having those level 20 upgrades, and I don't see them being able to delay this. Glaurung is going to get the Dragonite, and I mean, it doesn't matter what lane he pushes. This is going to be hard, because again, Glorious still is only level 15. They don't have those level 16 talents yet. Up there they go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, they just got 16, which is important for them because level 16 talents are typically like where the talents start to get pretty game-changing, even on an individual talent level. But with Team Snowflake having that level lead and the Dragon Knight and the pressure on the map from the Mercenaries, it puts Team Glorious in a really bad place because if your team has the Dragon Knight and has pressure on the lanes, then it's really easy to defend against the Dragon Knight with the Mercenaries and stuff. But if the enemy team has all the Mercenaries and the Dragon Knight and the level lead, you're in for a bad time. They just get to 5-man death ball, you have to deal with Mercs, and it looks like they're going to engage a team fight here.
I don't know if this is the best team fight for Glorious. Cthulhu maybe getting caught out of position here. Glaurung is putting a lot of damage on him. LZ's going in. Nice use of that smite, knocking him back. Will he be able to put a kill? LZ's going to go for the kill. If he can take out Vala right now, that would be huge. Looks like she... Oh no, Vala will end up falling here in another team fight. Idra does get ulted. He falls before he can get the Odin down. Keelax goes for his ult as well, doing a lot of damage. Nice knockback by Glaurung. They're going to try and separate Syracuse. The Polymorph does secure the kill, not able to phase shift out of that, and is currently 1 kill to 2 in favor of Snowflake. They're pushing this mid tower. They don't have their Tychus, but they still have plenty of damage here. Great push right now, and it's going to be really hard for Glorious to hold.
Absolutely. Even with the Dragon Knight going down here, there's no reason for them to back out. They have a 4-3 advantage. This fort does not mean that much late in the game. You see them just diving under it hyper-aggressively, killing ZPs almost instantly there with the Kerrigan combo, who had all of her abilities and activations up still because choosing the Dragon Knight that entire fight. And they're going to clear out this keep, and then they're going to pull back and grab some Mercenaries, those ogres near the bottom lane. And that's just going to secure even more pressure for their team. Once their allies come back up, they're going to regroup and look to end the game very soon. They also have the 20-17 advantage, which is a really devastating level lead here for Team Snowflake.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to point out something to our newer viewers. As you can see, some of these lanes have catapults spawning in them. When you take the middle fort, or the inner keep rather, this thing right here, your lane spawns the super minions known as the catapult to help them push a little bit harder. Catapults, when they get stacked into 2 and 3, can do a lot of damage to your palace and help the team end the game. Now, I have a quick question for you, Dunk.
Absolutely.
When this game started to go wrong for Glorious, what could they have done differently to try and swing this back in this favor? Because right now this is looking, I mean, it's not over. There's always a chance to come back in Heroes, but this is pretty scary. Yeah,
this is scary for them. I think at this point they're in a really rough spot. CP's getting caught here. It's like he's going to go down again without even getting the bloodlust off. And this is going to secure the beat for Team Glorious. Team Snowflake just putting all the pressure there, getting that huge Kerrigan pick off on CPs, denying them the bloodlust. Here's a re-engage on the Archon. Looks like he's going to escape with a Void Shift, but now all 5 people in position to deal damage to the core. Oh, actually goes down, but that core is done for.
No
Coffinluck trying his last. Coffinluck bravely venturing out of the fountain there, out of that shield, but goes down, doesn't kill anyone. Man, that was a tense game.
We do see that the match one, opening match for this league is going to go to Team Snowflake. Congratulations to them. Now, Dunk, let's go a little bit back, and let's talk about when this game started to go wrong for Glorious. What could they have done just a little bit differently to keep themselves in the game or swing back? What do you think they could have done a little differently?
Well, I would say that the game started to go kind of bad for them right at the point where they get caught at their ogres, and they ended up in a bad team fight. They ended up getting hit all by the Falstad, Shock and Awe. They got engaged on by the Tyrael, and at that point, you could tell that team fight, they got scattered a little bit, and Team Snowflake just took advantage and got a pretty big lead at that moment. Now, what Glorious needed to do in order to get back against Team Snowflake is they really just needed to do what they were doing, the 5-man roam squad. They really just needed to try to do that, but they actually needed to catch the squishies clumped up and engage on them with their AoE stuns, because the big problem there for Team Glorious was actually that Snowflake's Idra and Keelax on Tychus and Falstad respectively were doing a really good job of not getting hit by the same AoE engages of the Barbarian or the Uther. So there was only one team fight in that game where Idra on Tychus actually went down before he could pop Odin. There was only one. And what you really need in order to beat the Falstad and the Tychus is to AoE engage on them and burst them down before they can get those big impactful ultimates off. There's just no other way that Team Glorious can essentially beat Team Snowflake in a team fight there. That's what their composition has to do in order to win.
Yeah, and again, as we all know, for the people who haven't played Heroes just yet, first time watching, this game can be kind of snowbally. You know, it's designed to have the shorter games. So once you get those early leads, sometimes it's just very hard to come back. Glorious did put up a good fight, though. Congrats to Snowflake for taking that win. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, guys. 3 minutes. When we get back, we'll be talking about the picks and bans for match number 2. We'll see you guys then.